Don't run away from yourself, run towards yourself. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Vanessa, welcome. Today I really want to dig into that topic of, I'm gonna repeat it, don't run away from yourself, run towards yourself. Because once I was taking a walk and I just heard these words in my head and I was like, whoa. Okay, I'm sure I probably read this before somewhere, or maybe it's a quote of somebody, who knows, I can't tell you, but I heard these words in my head and I was like, whew, that's so interesting, and it literally shifted something inside of me. Because I think so many of us try to find their purpose, try to find why they're here, what they're supposed to do, and a lot of us try to figure it out looking outside of ourselves to find that answer. And most of us are actually afraid to find out what we're here to do and run away from themselves. And for a while, I was one of them. I think in my teens, I was more connected to my purpose and what lights me up than I was in my 20s, when I thought like I needed to study business and, be the first in my family to go to university and have a degree and work in like an industry that I feel like my family was quite removed from, or always saw like a far away goal. And then I achieved all those worldly things, and somehow it is a part of me, like the curiosity and thrive to innovate. And on the other hand, like that promise of, like sort of maybe even power that this industry sort of represented for me subconsciously, I guess, never satisfied me. And I think for a long time, I started running away from myself. When I was 19, I went on my first big trip and I moved to Australia to work and travel there. And from there, I traveled to a lot of countries, and I realized, whoa, being away from home feels so liberating. When you come from a place from not like an easy upbringing, I think a lot of us who have that story or history are so inclined to go away and travel and move to faraway places, because it just feels easier to handle family things from far away than being in the midst of it, physically immersed. And so that's what I did. And I think, because tracing back my steps is always something that I'm curious about, and looking back, reflecting on my 20s, I feel like I've ran so much, and I've ran to not face my emotions, my issues, my challenges, my desires, my dreams. And I just ran away so much from my essence that I feel like I was more connected to when I was a teenager. And now that I've become sort of full circle with myself in terms of understanding my purpose and going for what I want and what lights me up in my soul and not in my mind to be accepted somehow in society, I really want to share this lesson with you, because it just means so much to me. And it's just like running towards yourself. Let's start with why we run away from ourselves. We often run because we're so afraid to feel whatever we carry within us that has maybe not been processed. Or we also fear not to be able to achieve our desires and dreams or purpose. And on the other hand, sometimes we also fear to do exactly that, to be successful and to achieve whatever we want, because what would that mean? That could potentially mean to your mind, to your subconscious mind, like that you lose something, that you won't be accepted, that you won't be loved, that you will be rejected or judged, or whatever it is. We all have our reasons for running away from things, from ourselves, for example. In this video, we focus on that, running away from why would you run away from yourself? And logically, you may be trying so hard to find your purpose or connect to what you want to do in life, or even try to go for it, but maybe it feels really hard. And that often happens when subconsciously we carry beliefs, we carry programming, conditioning, emotional blocks that actually want to keep us safe. So that sounds probably counterintuitive, but usually when we are not able to align with who we are, because this is really it. What is for you, you cannot pass by unless you reject and, what's a good word here? Resist it so much that you're purposely not connecting with it. And I know, stay with me, this may trigger a lot of people that I'm saying this. Take a deep breath, let's get through this together, because it's not a logical thing. This is not something that you're taught in society, but it's something that is happening within you. I've experienced it, I've seen it in my clients experienced it and reported back. And it's just sometimes when something is not working out, we need to ask ourselves, where am I resisting coming into alignment with myself? What inside of me is afraid? Where am I carrying patterns from my ancestors, maybe even from, family that was sort of like carried on through DNA or muscle memory inside of me, that I'm not allowing myself to align with my purpose, with myself, essentially. And I've worked through so much of resistance to become who I am today. I never saw myself like being who I am today, just because I wasn't connected to my soul, to my heart, and not going for it because of all those limiting beliefs and all those fears that I carried inside of myself, that I was or was not conscious of. And here's the thing, if you're triggered by what I'm saying right now, it's okay. Then this is a part of you coming up that resists even, hearing that there's a possibility to not feel like that. And we don't know what we don't know about ourselves until we bring awareness to it. That means that give yourself the benefit of a doubt, I mean this in a very positive way, to sit yourself down and just feel into, maybe I don't think I'm afraid of something. Maybe I don't think I'm not capable of something. But sit yourself down and feel, because there's a difference between thinking, which is our logical mind, and feeling, which the feeling sense connects to our nervous system, to our felt sense, to our body's wisdom, to our subconscious mind. And this is really where our patterns and emotional blocks, beliefs and conditioning are stored. And our logical mind doesn't have access to it until we, release sort of like the grip of the mind that keeps you set in a certain programming and in a certain state of identity, which feels safe. So nothing of you wants to hurt you. No matter what you believe, no matter if you believe you're not worthy or you're not good enough in some sense or way, or you'll never get there. If that's like beliefs that you may have, this is just a part of you, your mind, that tries to keep you safe from expanding, because another part of you, and again, I'm referring here to internal family systems partswork. I use this a lot in my sessions with clients, but also in my own journey. And when a part of you doesn't feel safe to expand, doesn't feel safe to be fully yourself, doesn't feel safe to be what may be deemed as weird in our quote unquote normal world society as we know it, if that part of you or those parts of you, maybe it's multiple, do not feel like this is a safe thing to do, you may repress certain desires, dreams, you may suppress certain gifts and qualities that you have just in order to keep you safe. And this is a learned pattern that you may have picked up somewhere along the way in your life, probably in childhood or teenage times, but it can also be in any other time when you had a situation where it felt really unsafe for you to express yourself or connect to your soul, your heart, and just be. And I grew up with a lot of stress and chaos, and that taught me that, just being, I think we can just be if we feel safe in our body, if we feel safe in our environment. And when you're not feeling safe to just be, you forget how it's like to be. And when you forget how it's like to be, you become a doer. And there's nothing wrong of doing. But if you start doing that is unaligned to who you are, to your essence, to your soul, to your heart, you act as somebody else. So you're running away from yourself. You're not walking in the direction of who you are underneath the conditioning or programming. Yeah, maybe you've heard this quote from Michelangelo. Michelangelo used to be a Italian sculptor, artist, painter back in the day. I'm going to paraphrase because I don't remember the full quote right now, but it's something around, he created this statue, the David, and he said, the statue is always in the stone. You just got to ship away enough of that that's not part of the statue in order to bring free and liberate the statue. Look it up on Google. I'm sure you find the real quote. I love it. It's one of my favorites because it's so true. Imagine yourself like you're born, you come into this world, and if we're supported in the most nurturing way that aligns with our soul, so if the caretakers around us, no matter if it's parents or other caretakers, if they observe you and support you in developing in the way that is you, that nurtures your being, your soul, your heart, then it's so much easier for you to actually keep aligned with that purity of yours that you had as a baby when you came into this world, and you will naturally go after your desires and use your gifts and qualities to contribute to the world. But in most cases, unfortunately, in this world, we are not being nurtured in our preferred way, and therefore we are developing thought patterns, beliefs, actions, and behaviors in order to make ourselves feel accommodated, safe, accepted in our environment. Because we have to. As children, we are basically dependent on adults to feed us, to take care of us. Yeah, and this is just a natural sort of primal need to survive. And therefore we are adapting to our environment, even if it takes us away from ourselves. Yeah, and that's why if we lose the connection to, excuse me, I just had coffee, to our beingness, to our sense of self and our heart and soul, when we are not nurtured in keeping that connection alive and play, for example, play is an important component in this, because play awakens our heart, awakens our inner child. And if you've never heard about the idea of inner child is basically the child, the purity that we came into our life with, the curiosity, the purity, the joy, the excitement to discover and live and be alive and adventure. If we are not keeping this flame alive in our heart, we're becoming grown up, bitter meat suits. And being an adult doesn't mean you need to be. It doesn't mean you need to be serious all the time. It doesn't mean you need to lose your sense of play and creativity. On the contrary, look at all those people who keep it alive. They are happy, successful, they shine from the inside out. They are living their purpose, are usually healthy. I mean, you can never know what's going to happen within you or with your health, but they are usually, you know, like just a joy to observe. And at least that's the people that I admire. And I aspire to be one of them. And it has a lot to do with running towards yourself instead of away from yourself. And when you bring awareness to the fact that you deserve to run towards yourself and not away from yourself, because there's a lot of people who also have those thoughts come up. Yeah, but why me? Why should I deserve all these good things? And let me ask you this, why should you not? You may have come into this world with the programming of, or you may have adapted to this world receiving the programming of, you're not good enough, you're not this, you're not that, whatever. But that is just a filter that you get to remove to come back into your purity and your essence and live out who you came here to be, because your contribution counts. I want to give you an example that made so much sense to me. Look at a whale in the ocean. Yeah, what do they do all day? They feed, they swim, yeah, they whatever, I don't actually know. They send out sound signals to communicate and whatnot. What does an eagle in the sky do? Flies, it, you know, like relaxes, it finds food, prey, yeah. What does the sun do? What does the moon do? What does your dog do? What does your cat do? They're being alive. They're living their purpose. And it all has its balance. Us being who we are is the balance that every single alive being on this planet has the duty to do in order to create balance on this planet. Look in nature, everything is perfectly imperfect. Perfectly imperfect. Why? Because everybody follows their purpose. Why are humans incapable to do that? What are we doing with the world? We are basically, destroying the carbon dynamic in the air or whatever. Like, we create so many issues. And why? Because we are not in alignment with who we are here to be. We're living so far, we're running all so far away from ourselves instead of just being here who we are. And you may think now, if me being in alignment will not make such a big difference in the world. I'm sorry, but you're wrong. Because imagine everybody decides that. That's where we go wrong. Yeah, you're a drop in the ocean, but you are the ocean. You cannot forget that, and you have the duty to be who you came here to be. So let this be your permission slip to go for what you want, to follow your heart's desires, and to, I don't know how else to say it, but we are programmed to not go for what we want, to be in imbalance, to feel bad about wanting what we want from our heart. If you want what you want from your ego, you got some work to do. But if you want what you want from your heart, process the shame, process the pain, process whatever separates you from stepping into your alignment and into following your heart. Because that's exactly what you're here to do, and nobody teaches you that. Nobody teaches you that. But that doesn't mean that it's not true. And if that triggers you, let it trigger you. What do you feel? What emotions does this bring up inside of you? Is it anger? Is it shame? Is it pain? Do you want to turn off the video now? Good, do it. It's good that it moves something inside of you. And if you feel emotional right now and you're like, oh my God, this is exactly what I needed to hear. Feel that feeling, that longing, that maybe sense of loss or longing for reconnecting with your soul, with your heart. because that's what you deserve. You always deserved it. It's your birthright. But realizing this took me so much time, and you cannot realize it from your mind. It's not enough. You need to feel it in your body. And it took me so long to feel this in my body. But reinforce it. Keep on chipping away of the layers that are not the statue, that are not you. And start, no matter how tiny your steps will be, start running or walking towards yourself instead of away from yourself. So every time you're afraid of being fully you, being seen in your weirdness, whatever that means to you, I'm going to give you another example. For years, I wanted to start a YouTube channel, and I was so afraid. And I was always like, no, I don't know what to say, whatever. And then one day I just, opened my phone, opened the camera, made a video. And since then, I'm uploading nearly daily. And I'm not scripting anything. I'm just sharing whatever comes through me, through my soul. Because I want to give my soul a platform to just be and see if I can just help one person with what I'm saying. And you can find those things for yourself. You can take teeny tiny steps towards yourself. But every time you're gonna do a decision from now on, maybe do this practice. Ask yourself with this, am I running away from myself or am I running towards myself? And you can even think of the worst case scenarios. Like, what's the worst case scenario of running away from myself? How will I feel with 80 years old when I keep on running away from myself? Will I be proud? Will I be sad? Will I regret? What's going on? Will I be happy? And do the same exercise with, how will I feel with 80 years old running towards myself? Who could I be if I allowed myself to? Yeah? That's my message for today. Whoo! Let's all take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Maybe shake out your body a little bit. Wow, that was a lot coming through from the divine today. I usually have a topic that comes into my consciousness, and then I just start the video and speak from my soul. So this, if you're curious how I'm doing these videos, that's how I'm doing it. And so I just let the divine speak. And I'm not controlling anything. So this is my practice that I do on a daily basis, nearly daily basis. Find your own, run towards yourself, don't run away from yourself. Because I know from myself and from others on the same journey that there is a moment that you regret not running towards yourself. And there's a moment of grieving that you didn't do it earlier. And at the end of the day, it's all in perfect timing and it's all okay. But just so you know, it's worth it to run towards yourself and stop running away from yourself. What is the worst that can happen by running towards yourself? Ask yourself. And mostly it is the fear of feeling the feelings that you carry inside, feeling the pain of past experiences. Yeah? So go for it. If it's all that you're afraid of, to feel your feelings and feel pain, you can do it. You can handle it. Ask somebody to work with you on this. If it resonates, go check out the box below. There's my email address. You can book, there's my website. You can book a session with me if it resonates, but that's not why I'm doing these videos. Find somebody you trust to help you run towards yourself, okay? Whew. If you like this video, leave me a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, if that resonates, do so. Would love to have a comment from you below to just see where you are in your journey to run away or run towards yourself. Share with me a little bit. I would love to read about it. And when you share, you also inspire other people. And it's just a community that I want to create here for people who want to discover themselves and connect to themselves, because with that, with coming into alignment with who you are and expressing yourself to the world fully, you're making a huge contribution to bring this world into balance as well. Okay? All my love.